not too far off, it's where I talk. This is my first time in the drop, but this is my second attempt at doing stand-up, and if it goes as well as my second time having sex, I think I'm going to do a good job. It's going to be over way too quickly, and you're all going to be super disappointed. I started trying out open mic nights because it's a little bit easier to do than explaining a humiliation kink to a partner. When I told my little brother I was doing comedy, he was a little apprehensive. Everybody else in my life was like, oh, you're doing a great job, this and that. And I did my first time. They're like, oh, you're so brave, you did awesome. And my little brother's like, stop now, you're terrible, you're ruining everything for me. I don't know about you guys, but during the coronacation, I started hiking as a hobby. If you've never hiked, it's really just walking in nature with a little bit of pizzazz. My cousin and I, we hike a lot together. I'm actually going to visit her in 2 weeks, and I've realized about halfway through all of our hiking trips, we start to go through the 5 stages of grief. The first one is denial. I have to look this up. We usually are going, we're like, there's no way, there are 3 more miles for us to go. The second one is anger. We've passed a sign that said, oh, 1.5 miles until the parking lot. And I looked at it and I'm like, there's no, that is a lying piece of shit. That sign is just a bastard. Third up is bargaining. I've heard myself say, I will switch to plastic bag, or paper bags. I will start composting my own excrement if I can just get out of this goddamn forest. Next up is anger. I think I already said anger, actually, sorry. Give me 1 second. Depression. I find myself like just bawling my eyes out, going, why am I here? Why did I do this? I missed my bed. Next up is acceptance. Near the bottom of the mountain, I'm just ready to die. I'm like, you know what? I deserve this. All I wanted to see was a good sunset, and all I got was a fucking cramp out of this. And then me and her, we started throwing this nice little spicy form of grief, and I like to call it Disney songs and horror sounds. What usually ends up happening is we start belting our way through Aladdin's A Whole New World, laughing maniacally and crying because we're never going to make it out and we're just going to die here. This is my favorite stage because every time we pass a family, I know they have heard us before they have seen us because they look disturbed as shit. Now, I was driving home from work the other day, and I don't know if this is a small town Midwestern thing, but I saw a sign that said, professional wrestling, every Saturday. And it was posted outside of a church, very confidently called That Church. I want to be the priest who thought this was a good idea. You know, when you get butts into mass in the pews this Sunday, a pile driver from the top rope Saturday night before. In elementary school, my brother and I were in an advanced math program. And in that program, we had to do a stock market challenge. Because who better to put together a portfolio off of market research than 9 to 10-year-olds? We would look up stock symbols that were like, oh, boo, shit, or dick, because of course we did. And then we finally settled on Goog because it was real and it kind of sounded funny to us. And I told my parents, I was so confident in stock, I told them to put my birthday money into it, my Christmas money into it, and because I was 10 years old, of course they listened to me. Joke's on them, Google's now the biggest tech company in the world, and me, well, I'm moving back in with my dad because he didn't want to listen to the advice of 5th grade. You ever listen to a sports fan talk about their team when they're winning? Oh, we did it! Oh, we won! Oh, we scored! Okay, sure. You sitting there drinking a warm case of PBR, sitting in your soiled underwear, definitely helped the Cubs win the World Series, Bill. Has anyone else here gotten a DUI? So sorry. Technically, mine's a right for driving because I had a good lawyer and I'm white. What's funny is I wasn't swerving, I wasn't speeding, there was nobody else on the road, but my alternator was dying, so my lights were like flickering on and off. The cop pulls me over, and I already know I'm fucked. I recognize cop headlights, my breath smells like gasoline. And he comes up to the window and goes, sir, do you know why I'm pulling you over? And I confidently tell him, is it because I'm drunk? And I don't think he expected such an honest answer. Then he said, I'm going to need you to step out of the car to do a field sobriety test. I said, no. You got it. You don't need to do that. He was like, no, I definitely do. I was like, could I at least study first? I need a bet. Predictably, it didn't go well. So they're throwing me in the back of the car, and I turn to one of the cops and I go, did I at least pass? Needless to say, it's not the only test I failed. Has anybody else out here used Venmo? Why is it set up like a social media site? We use it for like tip outs at one of my jobs, and I don't need the high schoolers at the pizza place I work at knowing that I spent $80 on a Friday night to have a good time. Oh wow, John,